Timberwolves with, look at this stat line, 39 points and 8 assists, but it was this dunk that we have to show you on Get Up on Anthony Edwards. Ah! Oh, gosh. Perk, we're going to bring you in here. How far can Tyrese Maxey carry the 76ers in the playoffs in a wide-open Eastern Conference?
Man, I love Tyrese Maxey. Shout out to him, Texas boy. But I believe that the Philadelphia 76ers, their ceiling is the second round. I just don't trust them. And the reason I don't trust them is because as we looking at these highlights, we don't see Joel Embiid. And I don't believe that he's going to be the Joel Embiid that we saw before he went out this season in April. And the health is always going to be the biggest question mark, especially when you're talking about having to win 4 7-game series in order to get where you're trying to go. And that's the promised land. I believe a Tyrese-led 76ers team is the second-round ceiling.
Yeah, Wendy, we've been talking about the Pistons, talking about the Cavs, the Knicks, the Celtics. Sixers are kind of lingering there. What's the latest on Joel Embiid as he's been dealing with this knee soreness and missed another game? What are you hearing about his possible return?
Well, it's not just knee soreness. It's now a shin issue that he is also missing time with, and he remains day to day. It was a huge win for the Sixers, though. They had lost 4 in a row since Embiid went out. They were coming off a very difficult back-to-back playing in New Orleans on Saturday, flying up to Minnesota to play a rested team. And they're fighting to remain, in that top 6 right now. So I would not expect Embiid to come back for this next game they play tomorrow against Indiana, who's painting a masterpiece of tanking right now. But they're trying to get Embiid back to where he was before this knee issue popped up. They did not believe it was serious, but obviously with the shin involvement, it's lingering longer. And obviously they're dealing with Paul George's current suspension as well.
All right, so the blizzard's coming down in New York City, and last night I'm flicking around and I'm watching this Knicks-Bulls game, and there's Karl Anthony Towns, who had another big night, 28 and 11 for his NBA-leading 39th double-double in a win against the Bulls in Chicago, just one night after they played a wild game against Houston. Perk, the loss to Detroit, they got blown out on Thursday. They beat the Houston Rockets in a miraculous 18-point comeback on Saturday, and then they take care of business on the road against Chicago. How do you even describe what this Knicks team is right now?
Well, I think if they follow if they use this recipe of using Karl Anthony Towns, the Knicks actually got a legit chance of going to the NBA Finals. Karl Anthony Towns is the most important player on this team, and they got to continue to find ways to feature him in the offense. If that means taking away from Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby to make sure the big fella get more touches so that you could get the best out of him defensively, because Karl Anthony Towns is a guy that works off emotions. He's a guy that you have to stroke his ego. He's a guy that you have to force feed the rock so that you could get a better player on the defensive side of things. If the Knicks are going to get this Karl Anthony Towns that we seen against the Rockets and last night, then the Knicks have a legit shot of coming out of the East. But if they don't feature him and they have those games where they put him on the back burner, then they could possibly be, an early round exit in the postseason.
Wendy, I got to say, there are so many stars on this Knicks team, but that number 5, Jose Alvarado, has taken this city by storm. No pun intended with the weather we got here. What do you make of what we're seeing from the Knicks the last few days?
Considering they basically gave up a couple of second-round picks for him, he has already helped them directly win 2 games. Saturday night, he destroyed the Houston Rockets offense almost single-handedly in that comeback fourth-quarter win. Jalen Brunson played a pretty big role as well, but Alvarado being this type of guy who could maybe make a difference in just one playoff game in a series is the kind of impact that they're wanting. And Mike Brown made an interesting decision on Saturday, actually put Mikal Bridges on the bench to put Alvarado out there, and it was the right call. And so Alvarado has injected life into this bench with Landry Shamet, who's having a great season. The Eastern Conference is wide open, and a player addition like Alvarado could make the difference in a tight series. And the Knicks, with those wins over the weekend, have moved back into third place, passing the Cavs.
Alvarado, New York City, born and raised. Wendy, the last one I want to do is spin it ahead to tonight, because this is a sneaky game you might not have predicted back in June or July. Spurs Pistons. Okay, this is the 2004 NBA Finals matchup. Could we be seeing a Finals preview this evening?
Well, I'm going to tell you, going in the future, this is not going to be a Monday night game. This is going to be a weekend game. The Spurs are the hottest team in the league. They've won 8 in a row. The Pistons have won 5 in a row, coming off of that impressive win again over the Knicks. Pistons have gotten Jalen Duren back off the suspension. They will not have Isaiah Stewart tonight to deal with Victor Wembanyama. But look, Cade Cunningham is getting attention. He had finished 3rd in the most recent ESPN MVP poll. He has got a shot, especially with players around him missing games, and this is a statement game tonight, an opportunity for the Pistons to show that they can beat Wembanyama in an important game, and that could really be important later on.
Per, could you see it? Of all the teams and players, Spurs, Pistons, NBA Finals this season?
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are talking about experience, but both of these teams right now are top dog, are in the tops in their respectful conference. And so when you think about what Cade is doing, Cade is just taking that step where he's starting to channel like Luka. He's giving me Luka Doncic, LeBron James vibes, where he's becoming an excellent offensive player. Victor Wembanyama, he wants to win right now. He is showing the world that he's actually a guy that could carry this team to the NBA Finals. And this Spurs team right now, what they're doing is they're prepping. They're prepping. This is just the appetizer for them going into the postseason, and they're keeping the Thunder on their heels because they're trying to go for that #1 spot. I think they understand and they realize how important it's going to be to have as many home court games in the postseason that they possibly can.
And Windy, from the eastern side of it, when you talk about the Pistons, getting Duren back, what's that mean for this team moving forward?
Well, Duren is obviously an all-star player, but you really are glad to have him back in this game because Wembanyama stresses you out. Even though teams have been guarding Wembanyama with more and more forwards as opposed to centers, you have to have that interior size. Duren is he's not just a double-double machine. He's a 2015 machine. He's a guy who doesn't just get extra possessions. He gets the extra possessions and does the scoring. He's vitally important to their defense. You know, the thing about Detroit, where they're going to be stressed in tonight's game and they'd be stressed in a series against the Pistons or against the Spurs, is that the guard position. They have limited ball creation. I expect the Spurs to really apply pressure to Cade Cunningham tonight.
Okay, I can't wait for that one. A Monday night thriller here between the Pistons and the Spurs. We're going to get to you guys in just a little bit. Coming up, let the wheeling and dealing begin in the NFL. This is where all of the gossip and rumors starts because everyone's in Indy, and it's the Combine. It's where stars are discussed to be traded, and we're going to talk about who might be on the move. But first, a little sneaky hembo for our guy PK Subban with that amazing ESPN hockey music in the background. Connor Hellebuck is one of 2 U.S.-born goalies to